Sometimes there comes a time when a woman looks in the mirror and thinks what she sees is actually the weight of the years, but in reality, she sees the traces of all the moments when she didn't take care of herself enough, when she didn't show her true self. Because life is such a thing that it often silently weighs down on a person's shoulders. Never-ending responsibilities, postponed dreams, energy and effort constantly spent on others. The lines that appear on your face are not really caused by time, but unfortunately by the shadows left behind by putting ourselves second. It is precisely at this point that a subtle break occurs. A woman realizes that she needs to reclaim her radiance and her joy of life. She realizes that the image she sees in the mirror is not her destiny, that she is not bound to it, and that she can truly correct and reshape it with the right moments. And a determined voice rises from within her. I am sure that this voice is the beginning of everything. Beauty is not about fighting age, but rather about building oneself in a deeper, more conscious, more meaningful and more powerful way, especially as one ages. When a woman begins to take care of herself, when she begins to pay attention to herself, it's not just her face that changes, but also her posture, her walk, her outlook on life, even her energy. Because transformation occurs not only in our skin, but especially in our soul, our story, and often in how we see ourselves. When we achieve this transformation, there is a quiet determination that no one else can see or notice, but which that woman feels inside. When you see how the care you show yourself lightens and reduces the traces of the years, how your face and especially your soul shine and open up when you live at the right rhythm, you will realize that youth is actually a period of such a stance, such a determination. Now, before we start the video, I want one small thing from you. Write in the comments that you are ready to start over for yourself. By writing this sentence, your mind will perceive it as a promise, and rest assured that the transformation will bind you more strongly. This small affirmation you give yourself will be our first concrete step toward opening the door to change. Now, if you like, let's start with the first point. 1. Adopting the concept of minimal and concise makeup. Minimal makeup is actually a very powerful approach that reveals the natural elegance of an aging face, rather than covering it up. Because as the years go by, our skin texture begins to refract light in a very different way, and the heavy products we use can make this refraction even more pronounced, making our face look much more tired than it actually is. However, the minimal makeup philosophy, whose true purpose is to leave our skin's own texture visible and to reveal our face's best version with just enough small touches, creates a lightness that allows our skin to breathe while also giving us a more dynamic, vibrant, radiant, and especially modern look. This increasingly simplified approach is emerging as one of the most refined applications of the less is more principle in the beauty trends of 2026. In fact, at the root of this habit lies choosing the right product for ourselves and conscious layering. Let's imagine we have mature skin. To achieve this, we must always bring out the radiance first, and we can do this with lightweight skin products. This is because the thick layers of foundation we use, which give the skin a dull, matte appearance, accumulate in the fine lines, making the years more apparent. On the contrary, if we use a light color-correcting cream instead, or perhaps a light-textured concealer or a natural finish powder, we can achieve the balance our face needs in a much more sensible way. Makeup that sits on the skin like an invisible film actually gives it a fresh energy and creates a look that is naturally more compatible with our facial expressions throughout the day. The key point here is that these products should not be truly concealing, but should rather play a more strengthening role for our skin. On our lips, this minimal and effective makeup approach, with its moist and fresh finish, makes a big difference. As you can imagine, Matte lips create a cracked appearance on mature skin, causing the look to deteriorate. Moisturized lips with a natural color, on the other hand, appear fuller, healthier, and more radiant. Outlining with a light lip pencil defines the shape without creating heaviness and adds a significant youthful touch to the overall expression of the face. This small but effective touch makes the lips appear much more naturally radiant, both when we talk and especially when we smile. This way, makeup ceases to be a mask and becomes an integrated freshness on our face. Actually, friends, I know this may be the second or even third video we've watched on this channel. I guess some of you are still not subscribed, and that really upsets me. Because seeing you here, especially moving forward together on this journey, is very valuable to me. If you subscribe, you will support me in the strongest way possible, and we won't lose touch with each other. Let's move on to the second point right away. 2. Trying to correct our posture. Trying to correct our posture, or what we might call the natural alignment of the body, is an element that affects the appearance of an older woman much more than you might think. Because over time, our shoulders start to slump forward, our back begins to round slightly, our neck starts to tilt forward, and all of this actually makes our face, and especially our skin, look much more tired and worn out than it really is. This poor posture can affect not only the skeletal system, but also the facial muscles, with clearly visible effects related to gravity. In fact, simply correcting posture instantly straightens a woman's figure, increases her energy, and makes her physique appear much younger, taking her to a younger level. In the modern understanding of beauty, posture is definitely accepted as a source of youth independent of makeup or skincare, because the message it conveys to the outside world is actually very clear: a strong, confident, and upright body. It really means a body that lives for itself. In fact, one of the most important and beneficial aspects of this habit is that it re-expands breathing capacity. So think about it. Just as a slumped body limits the natural movements of the diaphragm, it also reduces oxygenation and, of course, causes our skin to become duller, creates a more dull appearance, reduces energy, and in particular, causes muscles to lose strength. But when you simply adopt the correct posture, your rib cage opens up, your spine becomes longer, and your diaphragm begins to move freely. This physical correction allows more oxygen to reach the skin. Naturally, this also makes the face brighter and more radiant. In the world of beauty, there is something called inner radiance that has been particularly noticed or frequently emphasized in recent years. In fact, this is precisely the result of this mechanism. As the body opens up, the face glows. So ultimately, focusing on correcting our posture is emerging as one of the most powerful and effective beauty investments for mature women in 2026. 3. Choose a haircut that is styled in a model-like manner and pay attention to the harmony of colors. We can think of the hairstyle as an aesthetic signature that greatly determines the apparent age of our face. This is because the shape, form, volume, color tone, and cut of the hair, and whether it suits our face or not, i.e., whether it emphasizes or obscures our natural features, are very important factors in terms of appearance. For older women, choosing a hairstyle is not just a matter of looking good. It is a very strategic tool that reframes the contours of the face and even makes the expression look younger. Modern cuts, especially with the trends of 2026, focus on lines that lighten our face, make it softer, and make it look much more energetic. Color harmony creates a warm bridge between our hair and skin tone, enhancing the skin's radiance and giving the eyes a more vibrant expression. For this reason, the right hairstyle is a powerful transformation tool that completely redefines our overall appearance. The fundamental philosophy behind modern cuts is to lift the weight that pulls our face downward and create an upward movement. As you know, with age, our hair strands become thinner, lose volume, and the heavy layers cast a tired shadow on our face, giving a tired look. However, well-designed, thought-out layers, strategic volume points, and the right length lift the natural lines of our face upward. Light, inward-turning cuts, especially at the jawline, make the face appear more lifted and relatively younger. Consider cuts that end at shoulder length. These also offer a more sophisticated, elegant look, giving women a timeless dynamism. This modern line makes the woman's silhouette appear much slimmer and more balanced. When we choose the right hairstyle, we also strategically balance the changes in our facial features. For example, if the volume on the sides has decreased, a modern side-parted hairstyle makes the face appear much fuller. If the jawline has lost its definition, cuts that end at shoulder level enhance the oval shape of our face and provide a better appearance. If there are signs of sagging in the lower part of the face, we need to apply modern volume techniques that shift the weight of the hair to the upper layers. And when we make all these adjustments in a logical, conscious and modern way, our face takes on a younger, slimmer and more elegant appearance in proportion to its own features. Ultimately, choosing a color-coordinated, modern and, most importantly, a hairstyle that suits our facial features is a crucial investment that realistically enhances and rejuvenates the appearance of a mature woman. 4. Increase our daily water intake. This is one of the most fundamental yet most effective beauty habits. I can tell you that every cell of the skin tissue, our body needs sufficient water to maintain its elasticity, radiance, and brightness. As we age, our natural moisture retention capacity decreases, and this decrease manifests in our skin as dullness, a dull appearance, flaky skin, and unfortunately, more pronounced fine lines. Regular and adequate water consumption helps our skin cells plump up again, greatly contributing to a fresher, more dynamic, and livelier appearance of the face. For this reason, drinking water is a ritual that comes long before cosmetics and truly rejuvenates us from the inside out. From another perspective, one of the effects of water on beauty is that it supports our hormonal balance. Fluctuations experienced during menopause, in particular, can manifest as dryness, redness, and sensitivity in the skin. However, when we consume water regularly, our body ensures that these fluctuations are more balanced and that our skin regains its lost barrier strength more easily. In this way, hormones that have achieved balance create a calmer, more stable appearance on the skin. This actually allows us to achieve that rested, calm, peaceful look that is one of the most sought-after things in mature skin. And let's not forget, friends, if we really want to see the effect of this substance and understand how it fully combines with the steps of inner beauty, we will take a more important step by watching the entire video and understanding the effect of other substances on it. 5. Regularly caring for our neck and décolleté area. In fact, the neck and décolleté area is perhaps the first place where signs of aging appear most quickly and attract the most attention. Unfortunately, women generally focus primarily on facial care. Therefore, they may view the neck and décolletage area as a natural extension and fail to realize that it requires sufficient attention. However, we must pay attention to the skin structure in these areas, as it is much thinner than the skin on our face. For example, there are fewer oil glands, which makes it more vulnerable to external factors. For this reason, wrinkles, lines, sagging, and especially the unsightly appearance caused by ultraviolet rays, i.e., sunspots, can occur much more quickly in these areas. If we take regular care of our neck and décolletage, we can achieve aesthetic harmony between our face and body. In this way, the effect of youthfulness will be beautifully and permanently preserved, not only on our face, but also on the appearance of our entire upper body. As you might expect, Massaging this area, i.e. the neck and décolletage, and performing firming movements greatly contributes to the skin looking more vibrant and lively by increasing blood circulation in that area. If we perform this massage, especially upwards, we support our lymph flow and ensure that the skin gains a more vibrant energy. These movements help strengthen the connective tissue under the skin and therefore reduce the appearance of sagging. Our muscle structure, which weakens with age, can stay in shape much longer than we expect with regular massage and conscious movements. Ultimately, we should not neglect the care we can give to the neck and décolleté area. We should be aware that it is an extension of our face, a complement to it. 6. Nourish our skin with a simplified routine. The reason skincare has become more complex over the years is that women generally believe that more products will create more impact. In fact, mature skin benefits immensely from a routine that is the opposite. Much simpler, more refined, and definitely better selected. This is because the barrier function weakens in mature skin, and excessive product layers not only weigh down the skin, but also bring along issues like sensitivity, redness, oil imbalance, dullness, and lack of radiance. However, a simplified routine, thought out logically, focuses on the 3 essential elements the skin needs. What are these? Effective cleansing, nourishing moisturization, and the right active ingredient support. This approach actually lightens the skin's load considerably, helps restore its natural rhythm, and transforms it into a stronger, more vibrant, and brighter structure. We see more benefits from a better chosen routine for mature skin. As you might expect, barrier weakness increases in aging skin, and excessive product layers not only tire the skin, but also cause increased sensitivity, redness, oil imbalance, dullness, and matte appearance. However, a simplified routine focuses on the 3 essential elements our skin needs: effective cleansing, nourishing moisturization, and the right active ingredient support. This approach lightens the skin's load while also helping it regain its natural rhythm, resulting in a brighter, more vibrant complexion. A simple routine greatly enhances the quality of moisturization. In other words, instead of complex multi-step systems that we may use incorrectly, a carefully selected moisturizer that truly meets our skin's needs both protects the barrier and makes our skin more elastic. Ingredients such as ceramides, squalane, hyaluronic acid, and peptides draw moisture into the skin, providing a much longer-lasting plumpness. Combining these ingredients in a simple way for mature skin prevents the products from neutralizing or irritating each other. This shows us how a minimal approach can actually mean maximum efficiency. 7. Make facial massage part of your daily routine. When we look at natural lifting methods, facial massage is one of the most important elements that truly helps mature skin regain its youth in the fastest and most visible way. Think about it. Over the years, our muscles naturally stiffen due to tension, facial expressions, and gravity. This stiffness causes the facial features to sag downward. However, regular massage naturally relieves the pressure on these muscles, increases blood circulation, and allows more oxygen to reach the lower layers of the skin. As a result, the face gains a more colorful, vibrant, radiant, and rested appearance. In fact, one of the most remarkable aspects of massage is that it can awaken the face's natural energy through the power of touch alone, without requiring any products or procedures. It is also true that the effect of massage is particularly noticeable on circulation. This is because the light pressure from the fingers activates the veins under the skin, allowing our blood to flow faster. So what does this acceleration do? It supports the elimination of toxins and increases cell renewal. In other words, the dull and matte appearance often seen in aging skin is actually the result of slowed circulation. But when we massage regularly, this dullness disappears. Our skin reveals itself with a fresher glow. Especially if we do it in the morning, we reduce the puffiness that our face has accumulated overnight and ensure that the skin texture becomes smoother instantly. In fact, massage also helps the balanced distribution of natural oils that strengthen the skin barrier. These oil layers on the skin surface reduce moisture loss, making the skin look more supple and plump. Activating these oils through massage plays a particularly balancing role in mature skin that uses active ingredients such as retinol or acids. The skin becomes calmer and more resilient. In addition, massage increases heat. This increase in heat also allows the skincare products used to be better absorbed. Thus, each product has a much stronger and more beneficial effect. Ultimately, if we regularly incorporate facial massage into our daily routine, we will have implemented one of the most powerful youth strategies for mature women in 2026. When applied regularly, facial contours become more defined, the skin is revitalized, puffiness is reduced, and this leads to a natural lifting effect. In other words, this method, which works from the inside out, reveals the face's own potential without any artificial intervention. 8. Eat foods containing antioxidants. A diet rich in antioxidants is actually one of the most powerful tools for transforming the skin quality of an aging woman. More accurately, it is one of the internal tools. This is because over the years, cells are exposed to certain free radicals. These are one of the main factors that rapidly damage the skin and increase loss of elasticity. As you might expect, these radicals also multiply significantly due to factors such as sunlight, poor nutrition, lack of sleep, stress, and environmental pollution. And they begin to damage skin cells. How do they cause damage? They increase dullness, wrinkles, sagging, and the formation of spots, for example. A diet rich in antioxidants, however, reverses this process. Our skin becomes brighter, more luminous, and more balanced. Thus, the natural youthfulness of the face is restored. The most important aspect of an antioxidant-rich diet is its high capacity to protect skin cells from within. Powerful antioxidants such as vitamin E, beta-carotene, vitamin C, polyphenols, and flavonoids accelerate the skin's renewal process by neutralizing the damage caused by free radicals. Examples of foods that contain these include strawberries, pomegranates, blackberries, grapes, spinach, broccoli, green tea, and olive oil. These are foods rich in antioxidants that nourish the skin tissue. Regular consumption of these foods evens out skin tone, reduces discoloration, makes our face look more vibrant, and restores the natural radiance that mature skin loses. 9. Practice short meditations throughout the day to manage stress. Unfortunately, one of the triggers that negatively affects an aging woman's skin is stress. This is because the high-stress hormone cortisol weakens collagen tissue over time, thins our skin barrier, and prevents our face from having its natural glow. For this reason, meditation is not only a practice that relaxes the mind, but also a powerful habit that directly improves and beautifies our skin quality. Even short meditation sessions of 5 to 10 minutes a day will reduce our body's stress levels, calm our reactions, and give our skin a calmer, more balanced, and much more rested appearance. This practice becomes a truly silent but very effective supporter of beauty routines. At the same time, meditation helps reduce some of the visible negative aspects of our skin, such as redness, inflammation, and sensitivity over time. This is because stress-induced vasodilation, and in particular tissue damage, can be greatly alleviated through mental relaxation. The state of calm we achieve allows the skin to have a more stable structure. Things like uneven skin tone and dullness which are common in mature skin, are replaced by a more homogeneous and much healthier appearance through regular meditation. This harmony between mind and body actually enhances the effects of externally applied products. These short meditations also deepen breathing, increasing the skin's oxygenation. This is because the active work of the diaphragm during deep breathing stimulates the circulatory system, and this stimulation causes a much fresher glow on the face. In conclusion, short meditations done regularly are a modern and powerful habit that supports both external and internal beauty. They calm the skin, soften our expression, balance our energy, and give us a much more rested appearance in short. For this reason, stress management emerges as one of the indispensable elements of the 2026 beauty transformation. 10. Having a regular sleep pattern. During the night, the body does not just rest, it also enters the most intensive period of cellular repair. When the sleep cycle is disrupted, this repair process is interrupted, leading to dullness, lack of radiance, loss of elasticity, poorly formed dark circles, and more pronounced lines on the skin. However, a regular and full sleep cycle essentially rebuilds our skin from within. This cycle both boosts collagen production and increases the skin's capacity for self-repair, giving our skin a more vibrant, brighter, smoother, and much healthier appearance. Naturally, cortisol levels drop during sleep. This decrease reduces stress on the skin and calms inflammation. Sensitivity, redness, and especially uneven tone issues seen in mature skin become noticeably less apparent when the sleep rhythm is regulated. In addition, growth hormones, which increase during the night, accelerate the repair process of cells, making the skin tissue much more resilient. For this reason, regular sleep is not just a habit for health, but a much more biological mechanism that directly promotes youthfulness. In fact, sleep patterns can even affect the shape of the face. For example, when circulation slows down due to insufficient sleep, dark circles under the eyes become more pronounced, puffiness increases, and facial expressions appear much more tired. Regular sleep, on the other hand, relaxes facial muscles, speeds up circulation, and allows the eyes to return to their natural state. This often means waking up with clearer facial features, a brighter, more radiant expression, and a more rested aura. Over time, this routine increases the overall dynamism of the face, forming one of the cornerstones of a younger appearance. Another powerful and effective aspect of maintaining a sleep rhythm is the balancing of our hormones. As you know, sleep disorders are much more common in women during menopause. This leads to noticeable fluctuations in both the skin and overall energy levels. Regular sleep balances these fluctuations, leading to a better mood and more stable skin health. This balance makes the skin look calmer, less reactive, and gives it a much more consistent glow. As internal harmony strengthens, the image reflected outward also becomes more beautiful, as you can understand. Ultimately, committing to a regular sleep rhythm is one of the quietest but truly most effective elements in a mature woman's skincare routine. A rhythmic sleep at night returns as a younger-looking face in the morning, a brighter, more radiant, glowing complexion, and a more peaceful energy. This habit forms a very strong foundation that supports all skincare steps, serving as one of the cornerstones of the 2026 beauty transformation. 11. Highlighting our elegance by using minimal accessories. One of the most powerful elements that adds elegance and sophisticated simplicity to a mature woman's look is actually the use of minimal accessories. More precisely, it is the skill of using accessories in a minimal way, because a mature face and silhouette are now nourished by harmony and refined balance rather than chaos. While overly flashy, large or dense accessories cast shadows on our faces, more minimal pieces, on the contrary, make facial features and the overall silhouette much more distinct, striking, elegant, and modern. This approach, embracing the principle that less is more, explains why it is so effective for mature women. Aesthetic value lies not in exaggeration, but in selected details. The most noticeable effect of minimal accessory use is that it brings light and clarity to the face. Consider how large earrings or flashy necklaces distract attention by cutting off the natural lines of the face. In contrast, smaller, simple and well-chosen pieces emphasize the center of the face. In other words, a thin gold hoop earring, a minimal chain, or an elegant bracelet warms the skin tone and makes the entire look more balanced. This simplification is particularly powerful on mature skin because light touches, rather than excessive accessories, make the mature beauty of the face much more visible. In addition, having a minimalist approach to accessories makes the outfit itself appear more valuable, in a way enhancing its worth. Heavy use of accessories can diminish the impact of a characterful outfit. However, simple and well-designed pieces bring the cut, texture, color, and features of the outfit much more to the fore. This naturally strengthens the woman's overall style. The clean lines seen in 2026 fashion trends, namely monochrome combinations and elegant silhouettes, create a much stronger, contemporary, and modern look when combined with minimal accessories. For mature women, this modern line actually represents both chic and timeless expression very well. From another perspective, there is another important aspect to this approach. This has to do with the energy carried by accessories. Consider this: just as heavy or complex accessories create physical weight, making the neck and shoulder line appear more tired, minimal pieces, on the contrary, increase our freedom of movement, lighten the look, and create a natural feeling of comfort for women. This lightness reflects very positively on both posture and, naturally, facial expression. Women feel more elegant, more organized, and much more comfortable. Of course, the outward reflection of this feeling always leaves a rejuvenating effect. At the same time, the use of minimal accessories is one of the most refined indicators of style awareness. Using a small number of pieces chosen correctly actually shows that a woman has a very clear sense of her own style and is free from unnecessary details. This awareness naturally creates self-confidence in mature women, because simplicity is actually the most elegant form of self-confidence. The important thing here is not the presence of accessories, but their selection, because that is what determines their power. For this reason, the minimal accessory approach is not just a style, but a way for women to express themselves clearly. Therefore, highlighting our elegance with minimal accessories is actually a powerful habit that adds a much more modern sophistication to a mature woman's appearance and, naturally, her energy. Consequently, it supports the natural beauty of the face, enhances the effect of the outfit, and elevates the overall style to a more refined level by creating stylistic integrity. 12. Develop a daily walking habit. Remember that daily walking is one of the most effective habits we can easily adopt to improve the overall appearance of an older woman, especially enhancing and transforming skin quality. This is because walking accelerates the body's natural rhythm, resulting in much stronger blood circulation. It increases our oxygen flow and causes much more nutrients to be transferred to the cells. This increased circulation also helps the skin to actually glow from within. Therefore, negative aspects such as a tired facial expression, paleness, and dullness are significantly reduced with the increased oxygen levels brought about by regular walking. Walking also prepares a biological foundation that allows the products we use externally to penetrate the skin more effectively. In addition, walking actually activates our lymphatic system. As we age, you know that lymph flow slows down. What does this slowdown cause? For example, it leads to puffiness in the face, under-eye bags, and a generally heavy appearance. However, regular walking throughout the day naturally accelerates lymph drainage, reducing this accumulated fluid buildup. In fact, with every step a woman takes each day, she also lightens the heaviness on her face. The result is clearer facial features, a much more rested expression, and a younger-looking face. When combined with facial massage, this effect yields even stronger results and greatly helps preserve the face's natural form. To get to the most important part, I would also like to mention that another critical effect of walking is that it increases muscle tone. So what is muscle tone? Strengthening the leg, hip, and abdominal muscles improves not only the body's shape, but also its posture. Good posture makes even our face look much younger. It makes our jawline more defined, our neck appear longer, and generally gives us a more elegant silhouette. As you know, when walking, opening your shoulders, keeping your head level, and moving your body in a balanced position creates a much more natural self-confidence in women. This self-confidence becomes an aesthetic energy that radiates throughout your entire appearance. A daily walking routine also increases our skin's ability to retain moisture. As you might expect, a body in motion requires much more water consumption. This encourages women who are mindful of their health to increase their water intake. As I mentioned earlier, walking combined with adequate hydration results in skin that is plumper, more hydrated, and more radiant. Therefore, walking is not just an exercise in itself. It is a lifestyle practice that ultimately strengthens all care steps. We can think of it that way. When we put all these points together, what emerges is not just a younger-looking face, but the true profile of a woman who is much more in control, more balanced, and more radiant. The skin is nourished from within, the body truly strengthens, our minds calm down, and most importantly, women rediscover their radiance, their light. The beauty concept of 2026 actually tells us exactly that. Outer appearance is a realistic reflection of inner order. Rest assured that as you steadfastly continue these steps, not only will the face you see in the mirror become younger, but the energy you radiate will also rise in a very natural way. Remember that women are the ones with the power to change the world. Boldly forge your own path and savor every moment. I love you, and I want you to love yourself too.